couple of months. Now, Patrick Gunza recently did a story on Saturday a bit about that. Let's listen into what he has to say before we speak to our guest here in studio.
From somewhere here,
households and offices across the country, high cost of electricity, households and businesses forced to dig deeper into their pockets to pay. For instance, one customer, as a result of the rising costs, has been forced to pay 23,000 shillings in December. This is 10 times their monthly bill, previously at 2,400 shillings. This piling up to their January woes. In July, August and September last year, their bills were 2,400, 625 and 825 shillings respectively. The fuel levy, now attributed to the high bills, rising significantly to 4,567 shillings and 50 cents from an estimated 142 shillings in July and August. According to utility service provider Kenya Power, all this is meant to recoup some 8 billion shillings it cushioned the consumer from in the previous months. This is a result of expensive diesel generation of electricity due to prolonged drought in the country. Data from Kenya National Bureau of Statistics also indicates that Kenya Power bought an additional 1 billion kilowatt-hour of power from diesel generators up to October last year. Government figures also indicated that diesel generation costs about 30 shillings per kilowatt-hour, while the cost of geothermal power ranges between 7 and 8 shillings per kilowatt-hour. That of hydro generation is estimated at about 4 shillings per kilowatt-hour. And on Friday, Nairobi-based lawyer Apollo Mboya wrote to the competition watchdog requesting for its intervention in stopping Kenya Power from subjecting customers to inflated monthly electricity bills. His move aptly covered by Kenyans on social media. At Mudhuim, Kenya said something is not right at KPLC. The complaints line for false bills was very long yesterday. At Slary also commented that KPLC just said they'll be passing that to consumers on monthly invoices. I need a minute. At Wanjiku Revolt pleaded with Kenyans, saying, "We are working on a class action suit. Please share as many consecutive months of KPLC postpaid or token purchase records, which include direct meter pics, with us, the email being switchoffkplc@gmail.com. Similar sentiments also shared by a cross-section of Kenyans.
Kwetu kiwananchi ni kuumizwa, tunaumizwa na
watu wa Kenya Power wajaribu waangalie watu wa chini, kwa watu tutaumia zaidi.
Sana kama mimi rent ninalipa 3,000, stima inataka 500. Sasa ninaona kama stima inanumiza sana.
Hapo inaweza kuwa, hapo itakufia mia, hapo itakuwa ni ngori mazee, because
kama kungekuwa na kampuni mingi zaidi, tusitegemee tu Kenya Power peke yake ndio itakuwa ikisupply maneno ya stima.
Cumulatively, Kenya Power expects to recoup 10 billion shillings. It, however, says it has so far recovered 2 billion shillings, with 8.1 billion shillings expected to be passed over to consumers in the coming months.
And on that note, joining me in studio to talk a bit about this is the man who wants to lead that class action suit, or at least mobilize Kenyans towards that, Apollo Mboya. He's an advocate and former LSK CEO. Thanks for finding time to be here with us. I'm sure you have had a busy time trying to compile some of that data. On Saturday, I believe you tweeted that you're leading a consumer rights class action suit against Kenya Power. You asked Kenyans to send inflated bills to switchoffkplc@gmail.com. How many emails have you gotten, and what is their key messaging?
Thank you very much. And first of all, I have to thank Citizen for highlighting this aspect, because immediately after the news item, 1 hour after that, I got 300 emails.
300 emails?
Yes.
Okay.
And people forwarding their issues, and ranging from issues to do with inflated bills to reduction in units for tokens, people buying tokens.
Okay.
To malfunctioning of equipment. This morning, as I was leaving the office...
In fact, let me interrupt you there before you get to that.
Yeah.
Let me read an SMS that's coming, even when I announced that you're going to be on the show. One Kenyan here tells me, my bill for November was 3,700, but has now jumped to more than 482,000, basically just shy of 500,000.
Yes.
How does that even make sense? His name is Geoffrey. He's even sent us his account details, just that we see that, you know, what he's sending is accurate. 482,579.
Yes.
Sorry, carry on. I just wanted to interject and give you, you know, one SMS that we are getting.
Yes, this is a very important issue, and I hope also you can also tell your colleagues that the Minister for Energy has got a presser this afternoon on this issue.
On the same matter, okay.
Yes, this issue is of public interest. Now, let's go to where it started from. If you look at the annual report and financial estimates for the financial year ending 30th June 2017 of Kenya Power and Lighting, they have put a figure there of 10.1 billion.
That's correct.
Of amount that need to be recovered. It was ought to have been recovered from consumers, but was not recovered from, I think, the month of February.
Those are fuel costs.
Yes, fuel costs. Now, they want to recover them backdated, basically. That is the explanation. And the explanation is that there was drought. Now, what we have seen, and I think the email that the message you've just read just characterizes what everybody is getting, is that most people have gotten double their usual bills.
Okay.
Yes, and some of them are even tripled. But the issues that are rising now is, apart from overbilling and reduction of units, we also have the questions of quality of electricity.
You're talking about some of the complaints that I've got. How many emails have you received?
By the time I was leaving, I think I had received around 500 and over 500.
Over 500 emails.
Yeah.
What are the core complaints? If you were to group them in categories, what are Kenyans telling you?
The first one is overbilling. The second one is reduction in units for the people buying with tokens.
Okay.
Third one is quality of electricity in terms of lower loads. Okay. Then there is also complaint of customer care. They're claiming that they are aggressive, threatening, corrupt, and complacent.
Okay.
There's also the problem of bill adjustments, because most of the people are getting bills that they are claiming are estimates. So that's another issue.
Okay.
Then,
So one of the things you've done, you've written to the Director General of the Competitions Authority.
Yes.
You're stating that KPLC are abusing their monopoly.
Yes.
I know it's a bit early in the day and early in the week. Have you received a response?
I've not gotten a response,
Okay.
but they have contacted me from the office that they have received, and they're addressing the matter. But this morning again, under Access to Information Act, and Article 35 of the Constitution, I've also issued a notice again to Kenya Power and Lighting.
Okay.
And
this is the documentation that you have there with you.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm asking several questions with which they are supposed to supply us with that information, including who authorized that they don't collect this levy that they are claiming now that they're collecting.
Okay.
And for what reason were they giving dividends to their shareholders when they had a bill of 10.1 billion uncollected, and why did they not declare a loss of 10.1 billion? Yeah, and when are they going to stop collecting this amount?
And I've seen you've also tweeted this to Kenya Power, and whoever's running the handle has said this is being looked at.
Yes.
If everything goes your way,
yes,
what do you hope to see? What do you hope will be the end result of this action that you're carrying out?
The end result is that consumers are going to have quality service. Consumers are going to have value for money. Consumers are not going to pay for mysterious bills, including this 10.1 billion. They are claiming now they have already collected 2.1 billion out of this. So they have 8.1 billion to go. And I've asked them, give me the list of the people who have paid you this 2.1 billion.
Individually, bill by bill by bill.
By bill and the amount, the name and the amount, under the Freedom of Information. And that is the law. The Constitution, Article 35, requires that they do that, and they have to give that. Because
will you settle for piecemeal information, or must you see this go the whole way? For example, if Kenya Power say, look, you know what, we'll handle this debt, we'll find another way, will that be the end of this suit for you?
No.
Okay.
The ultimate issue is that we must end the monopoly. The monopoly for a very long time has impoverished the Kenyans. Secondly, Kenya Power and Lighting has been found to have been acting unethically because they are manipulating tariffs.
Okay, and they don't have a representative here, so I'll have to limit you because they would need a right of reply.
Yes.
So kindly bear that in mind even as you talk a bit about them. Go ahead.
Yes. And again, when you have a monopoly, then they can charge anything they like.
Okay.
And you don't have any recourse anywhere. We need another provider who can also supply the electricity because they are just suppliers. Generation is done by different entities.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you've written to the Ministry of Energy also and telling them what you're telling me now?
Even Energy Regulatory Authority is, because they're the ones who set the tariffs. So Energy Regulatory Authority is also a player in this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. With some of the emails that you're getting, which are some of the more alarming ones? What kind of bills are Kenyans getting at this moment?
The most alarming issue is just inflated bills.
Give us numbers.
I can characterize for you. Somebody wrote to me that in a residential house where he's been paying around 4,000,
okay,
he got a bill of 147,000 for the month of December.
Sent you the documentation to prove it.
And for the month of December, when he was not even there in that house, he had gone for holiday. The house was closed, and he only have a fridge, TV, the normal things, and a computer. And so those are the most alarming issues.
Okay. Okay. Has he paid?
No.
Did he tell you what he has done?
No, he didn't say. But some of the people are saying they are paying because that's another issue that also has come up. That they come and disconnect if you don't pay. So they give you a very short period. Please pay, and they come and disconnect.
And you were trying to show me a tweet of a user who you said decided I'm just going to pay anyway.
Yes.
I know you were not able to get a connection. But
yeah. Yes, Gilani here is saying that this is a fraud. I got this bill yesterday, I had to rush to pay it. They indicated the due date is 1st of January 2018.
He had no choice.
Yes, he had no choice. So they run and pay.
Finally, you've chosen to call what you're saying will be a landmark consumer class action suit.
Yes.
And for the benefit of our viewers who may not quite understand what that is, that's basically when more than one person takes an entity to court. You're the legal mind, you can help me define that a bit better.
Class actions is a terminology that is mainly used in the US, whereby there is a category of consumers, that a representative group can go to court, approach court, but
on behalf of
the consumers, but demonstrate to the court that this is not only them who are complaining.
Okay.
This is on behalf of all the people who are not before this court, but who are also affected.
We've seen this happening in the US. We've seen class action suits against tobacco companies, against pharmaceuticals. I haven't heard much about them in Kenya in the recent past. Why do you think yours is going to be any different?
We have not had it here because it has not been tested, and also the legal framework that was there before did not actually facilitate it. We have a new constitution which has embedded consumer rights now. We have institution, competition authority, that has been clothed with a lot of powers actually to help consumers. They're supposed to be allies of the consumers. But what we are seeing is where these institutions, especially that are supposed to help the consumers, especially even the Energy Regulatory Commission, they are there to set tariffs in order that the consumers are not overcharged. But what we are seeing is that they are in cahoots with one of the monopolies.
How long do you think this is going to happen before you get some sort of result? What sort of timelines are you hoping this will be resolved by? I know it's a bit of a presumptive question.
Yes.
But
if I've given a notice,
7 days?
7 days to the competition authority. I've also given 3 days for Kenya Power to supply me with information under the freedom of access to information.
Okay.
But in the event that within 3 days I don't see any movement, you can bet at the end of the week we are in court.
You're going to court?
Yes.
Apollo Mboya,
thank you.
Thank you so much for finding time to be here with us. And you said the email is switchoffkplc@gmail.com. Of course, waiting for a response from KPLC and the Energy Regulatory Commission. And you said the Ministry of Energy, I haven't seen that update yet. will be addressing the press this afternoon. So let's wait and see how that happens. A story that we picked up on Saturday, story done by Patrick Igunza, and this is the progress so far. Well, that's all the time we had for the English edition of Citizen Extra. Time to wrap up this part of the show, but do not go anywhere because the Kiswahili edition is up next. Thank you to everyone for your feedback on the various topics that we talked about. We'll see you again tomorrow. My name is Wahiga Mwaura. Kwaheri.